Aries, what's good with it is 1201 and Hope Stars. Well, let's see what's coming through. We have the Princess of Swords coming out first. Two of Swords. To the Ace of Wands. This came in a trigger warning message. You come in from every angle. So if you're open to communication, this is the best channel for you. But if not, toodaloo. Okay, we have here the King of Cups. Let's see. I'm not gonna hold you against your will. Let's see. I see one. King of Pentacles. Okay. Yeah, I never held on to anyone that didn't want to be held on to. You know? Okay, one more. Or not. And I was gonna say, okay, the Seven of Swords on this King of Cups energy. So Aries, it's as if you're having to like remove obstacles. You're not just remove them, but like you're completing some obstacles, removing some. Like this is not even like gonna build me up in any way, right? This is bypass, right? A swipe. It's as simple as that, a swipe. Energy. Okay, we have here the Seven of Pentacles with that Ace of Wands. Okay, and this, the thing is, it's where I water grows. Okay, we have that down. Okay, bypassing some BS. Okay, facing on some challenges in order to advance. Okay. Meanwhile, nourishing, watering, okay, yourself and projects in mind, okay. Two of Swords with the Two of Pentacles, okay. Being disciplined, juggling, being consistent in the juggle. This is disciplining yourself against any interactions that are distractions, okay, or that could lead up to a distraction. Okay, and it's remaining consistent on this like commitment that you have vowed to. Princess of Swords with the King of Pentacles. Yes. Okay. Then we have here the Death energy coming through. Sticking to your plan, sticking to your to-do list, sticking to that which is going to bring you life or out of this stagnation. Okay. We have here the Strength. On the Two of Pentacles, Two of Swords, which is Leo energy. You can have Scorpio in your chart, or you can have Leo in your chart. Okay, we have Earth energy here. Then we have here the Chariot. This is moving forward in the mentality of where I water grows. Where I water grows. The grass is greener where I water, right? The grass is greener where I water. So, any project or contract that you enter in, it will be its best based on your investments to that, right? Or to that person. So we know that. So if at any point in time, I'm just going to use example A and example B, right? At any point in time, if you thought example B was better than example A, it was only because you were investing more in example B, right? So say you switched your investments, or you wanted to, just say like that. To sum it up, you switch your investments, and then A begins to be so much more than what you expected, and not just that, it was so much more than B. So it was just based on you, though. It's how you're tending to the A or B. You know what I'm saying? This is that. Now apply that with people, friendships, family members, or relationship, right? Romantic, be that. Apply it to that, so it gives you more of the realistically, why was this considered better than that, or that considered better than this, when it's ultimately stems back to you, okay, and your form of investment, okay, and vice versa, the other, how much they're giving or capable to give under their circumstances. You know what I'm saying? Okay, we have here the Four of Swords. So this is being, like I was saying, you're tending to the obstacles, you're bypassing others, you're configuring even other scenarios to how to build you up, right? How to add to you or to your projects in mind, right? This is that, well, looking long term, this and this and that will benefit me. And it's not so much like he's better than him or she's better than her. It's more like what's ideal for this experience, right? It's more like that. Okay? And then we have here the Ace of Cups on that death energy, King of Pentacles, Princess of Swords, Strength crossing, and then we have the Temperance talking about what's gonna benefit, right? Equivalent to even. And then we have here the Hanged Woman. This is putting a lot of consideration. This is even like putting on paper pros and cons, right? This is being very raw with yourself too, like what you need as a person, you know? Because a lot of times individuals will go after what, like that status quo of another expectations, right? And they're so like not fulfilled. Going back to that story of the Cinderella, was that in this reading? Or was I just talking about that in this reading or the other? Because I just, they blend in sometimes. But if not, I was speaking on Cinderella and that prince, her prince, the Cinderella with Drew Barrymore, and how the prince had to sneak away to go and see her, and how she was having to sneak away to go and see him, right? I had just mentioned that, but I'm not sure if I mentioned that in this reading or not. But yeah, this is that, going back to that energy. So what he had to sneak away because he was going after his desire, right? And vice versa. Because in those days they were very like fixed. They had like some kind of like program that they went by in that community, you know, and he was the prince and king to be, right? He had like protocols he had to go by, and then the girl was made into a maid, so she had protocols she had to go by, right? But there were not so much their protocols, there were protocols of others, right? So they had to like really go after what they deem as fitting for them, right? Satisfying for them, despite the protocols of another, you know what I'm saying? And not just the protocols, but this is the desire of others. Others desire him to be with someone else for other factors. Okay, very very inconsiderate of him as a person and his decisions, vice versa, right? Okay, I mean, yeah, it's expected a prince to marry a princess, right? In that movie, he was expected to marry that princess from Spain. Yet he was already like he already had fell in love with the Cinderella chick, right? And I'm not saying she wasn't a princess, but under her conditions, she wasn't set up to be the princess that she could have been in her conditions, right? You should go look up the movie, see the movie. It could be provide some like downloads for you. Okay, let's see. If anything other for Aries. Okay. We have here the World energy. I feel like there's this certainty, like something along the next few 10 to 12 days. There's just this certainty, okay? And we have here the King of Wands, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius energy, and the Eight of Pentacles. So yeah, you're just really looking at, interesting how I ended up positioning that. You're looking at like your blueprint to be, right? Or like it's the planner. You're looking at it, and what's behind you is the Hierophant and the Devil energy. So it's really coming from a place of commitment, and also this is the semi energy of self-centered. I'm having to follow me. Well, you know what? I don't knock you for it, because as I say, when we follow our inner guide, that's the most wisest we could do. Why? Because we're the one experiencing the results, the comebacks, the cause and effects, right? Like we're gonna be experiencing it. Like, Even if someone told us or convinced us or, to make a choice, they're not the one that's going to experience as we do, right? They could be affected in some way if they're linked in, right? They could benefit or not, but they're not feeling the in-depth cause and effects, right? Of our decision. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Let's see from the Guidance Star Oracle for Aries. So being thought through, Aries. Okay, taking some time to consider what situations you're being faced with, right? What challenges even, because not every situation is a challenge. Truth, be truthful with yourself. Okay, let's see. And then we have here beauty and liberation showing through behind that. Okay. I'm going to read from the truth real quick. 31. Truth. Empowerment message. There is a great power in telling the truth and allowing it to lead you to higher grounds, Aries. It's only when we refuse to see the reality of a situation that we lose our power to co-create for the highest good. The Egyptian goddess Maat comes to remind you that if you are willing to do a fearless self-inventory and live authentically with a rigorous honesty, it will lead you to great success in all areas of your life. Being completely transparent with others, although it might at first seem too vulnerable, is exactly what you need to do now, Aries. When you do this, you will be flooded with the power to claim and experience a new freedom and a new happiness that will pour over your life like a wild, sweet honey. Your life is exactly where it needs to be. This is a wonderful time of empowered choice making. Okay, you are doing all that you need to do in the right fashion. If you follow the invitation of Ma'at to live fearlessly in truth as the arbiter of balance and divine order, she reminds you of the great values of this way of being. Okay, so that's also like sums up this message about following that inner guide, right? Going with that compass, because you're the one that's going to be affected by those waves, so to speak. Okay, so yeah, that's what I have for you, Aries. In hopes of supportive in any way, shape, or form. Take care, peace be. It's 12:14. Ciao.